Welcome back to Crane's Barn Grill. Been gone for a little while. We had, some stuff going on. Son got married. We went on vacation, some other stuff like that. So since my son got married, and then they moved to Florida. So most of the time it's just going to be me now because he's, newly married and they're doing their thing. My daughter's working a lot, everything like that. Right now she's kind of sick, so a lot of times it might just be me. So tonight instead of just doing a review, I'm gonna kind of sit here and watch it, and give my comments as it's going on. So tonight we're gonna watch The Rings of Power. I am, I'm a Lord of the Rings fan. I'm not like a super fan where I know like every little thing. I know a little bit, Of course, I watched all the movies and The Hobbit, and I've read the books, years ago. So, I know a little bit, and I can get confused with the names because sometimes, the names can get kind of confusing. But I do know a little bit, so I'm not sure how if that's gonna work for me or against me, knowing some of that stuff. I do know in the trailers that I watched. I know, like Galadriel, that's not even remotely how I would think she would look. Plus I don't see her being someone who's going to wear armor and lead an army. That's just not. She's like, what, at this point in time, she's either the most or the second most powerful being on the planet. Something like that. So she wouldn't need armor. She wouldn't need to get on a horse and lead a charge. So, we'll look and see how some of this, because Peter Jackson, the way he did the elves, I liked because they made it more ethereal and made it more, they were always in this light where they were almost glowing. You know what I mean? Because they're elves, and in Tolkien's world, the elves were, the highest of all, pretty much the highest of all beings, and and Galadriel's hair was supposed to be so beautiful. Everybody wanted her hair. Gimli wanted her hair. Was it Fëanor, whoever did this, the Silmarillions, the Silmarils? He wanted her hair and she wouldn't give it to him. So her hair is supposed to be so beautiful. And from the trailers that I saw, I'm like, man, she's just like a normal person with pointy ears. They don't look any different, So we'll see if it works for me or against me because I don't know every little thing on how it goes. And of course, your headcanon a lot of times is always different than what it is. Of course, unless you got the Peter Jackson thing. I mean, he pretty much did everything pretty much the way I pictured it. And I think the way a lot of people pictured it. But anyway, so let's get this started. Episode 1. Let's see what we got here. Taking it, that's probably supposed to be Galadriel, if I had to guess. What is this, like Harry Potter with Hermione and like Malfoy?
Even you couldn't possibly believe there was scrap would float.
And why wouldn't paper float?
It's going to sail.
He does. He sounds just like Malfoy. Was her brother that much older?
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot? Because the stone sees only downward.
Okay, Galadriel, don't learn from your brother. Not if, why does a rock sink? Because it's a rock. That's a beautiful shot right there. That's gorgeous. That's really well done. With the two trees, that really is well done. Morgoth, this is where Morgoth comes and gets the trees. They didn't show, maybe, I forgot, they only have the rights to certain parts, right? So maybe they don't have the rights to show, I can't remember the spider's name, it's, yeah, they're skipping around a lot, or really advancing it fast. That's that, what they, Hill of Tear, or the Mound of Tears, or something like that. So can we not see Morgoth get defeated because they don't have the rights to that? So we just got to, we got to go past Morgoth and just go right to Sauron. We've already had Sauron. You know, and the other ones, I guess unless you just don't have the rights to do Morgoth. So, didn't he die from wolves? Maybe that's what the marks are on there.
And there, in the darkness, his vow became mine. And so, we hunted.
So are they just changing her story completely? Because she didn't chase Sauron. She left and went because she wanted a kingdom of her own, or a land of her own to rule. The northernmost waste
Was but a memory. And the threat, at last, was ended.
There's got to be an easier way to do around that. I mean, that's,
I could be one of them.
and that's not how stuff works. I would think, you know. Yeah, there you go. An axe would climbing axe would be way better. So there's no way around that. We got to climb that. Of course, they are elves, so like they can walk on. That's what I was looking for, like the ice or something like that would fall, and they'd fall with it. He doesn't look happy, does he? Why do you need a knife to point at the? Because we need to show the knife. So far, this is, I don't know, it's kind of boring, actually. As much as it seems to be going on. First of all, it's kind of hard to build tension with Galadriel when you know she lives. That's the problem going back and doing characters that you know how they end up. I know nothing's good. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that's going to happen to her. No matter what position they put her in, she's going to come out on top because she's in the Lord of the Rings. So that's one problem going back. Like the scenery and everything looks really good. Why does she have chainmail on her head? That'd make it colder. Plus, it's Galadriel. She doesn't need armor. Why would you punch it? I'm sure you've got like a. You're gonna climb that mountain, so you're gonna have like one of those axes. So why not use that?
Down.
And what is she wearing? I mean, if you see where the elves live and the way they a lot of times dress, even their armor should even be beautiful. All of them, not just Galadriel. All of the armor should be amazing because they can take 1,000 years to make it because they live forever. So, and they love beauty. They're all about beauty. You know, that's what Elf is about. So they wouldn't. Why would they dress like that?
These orcs were meddling with the powers of the unseen world. But what was their purpose?
Surely it is lost to the ages now.
Even stone cannot hide the mark of one whose very hand is flame unquenched.
If it's already that hot, why wouldn't it wouldn't just be? Wouldn't it be steaming all the time with the snow just dripping on it? They could have picked anybody, but why they have to be Galadriel? That's not her story, and she's not a warrior. So it's throwing me off altogether right now because I know her story, and she's not, or at least I remember a lot of it, and she wasn't hunting down anybody. So she's a better fighter than the soldiers? And why would that be? When she doesn't need to be. So we're just getting another Lord of the Rings where they're hunting down Sauron? The other ones are they're delivering the ring, but they're also trying to kill Sauron. So we're just doing it again? Let's see, they're short with big feet. Huh. They're not hobbits though. What's he sniffing for? You can't see him right there? Can you not see? Is he blind? I hope they're not going to do kind of like, what was it on Kenobi, where he's plain as day, like getting out of the hallway, but you could see him. And that doesn't make any sense why they couldn't, you know. So they're right there, but the wolf can't see him or anything like that. Elrond. I remember seeing that in the preview. Or the trailer. I don't get the short hair, though. That throws me off. Like Elrond having short hair. And in Middle-earth, it looks like they have gel. They have gel, because how else do you get your hair like that? So many hair like that is with gel when you're a guy. You know? Maybe they have Elvis hair that just flows like that. That's why it's easier with long hair, because you have to worry about fixing it. It can just hang. But like that, short hair, you got to fix it. Look at that. You got to have some sort of gel or something. That's all I can think of every time I look at their hair. I'm like, how do they fix that? Linden. That's a beautiful shot there too. I say the scenery and the shots and the scenery is really nice.
And look at you now. Commander of the Northern Armies. Warrior of
Commander of the
Waste.
Northern Armies. So they've
I
completely
harvest
changed
you alive,
Galadriel.
caked in grime and mud.
This
So,
time frostbite.
which is, like I said, there's lots of people to choose from, or their makeup a whole new one or something.
Tell me everything.
Because Galadriel has a history. I mean, she's so powerful, she doesn't need a sword and armor. So they made her, in the show, they made her weaker in this show. Instead of keeping her at her full strength, that doesn't need that stuff. Not seeing the point of the Harfoot so far. Why are they here? Why are they in the story? It's kind of boring. Another beautiful shot. You know, they did get a lot of this stuff right as far as the scenery goes. It's nice. Finally, an elf with long hair. It's about time. Or a male elf, anyway, with long hair. That armor is ugly as all get out. Elves wouldn't be in that armor. Elves would be, the armor would be gorgeous. That looks like plain old medieval armor. I guess I'm just going to have to completely redo my thinking that this isn't really Galadriel.
After all you have endured, it is only natural to feel conflicted.
Conflicted. I am grateful you have not known evil as I have. But you have not seen what I have seen.
I have seen my share.
You have not seen what I have seen.
Elrond has seen some pretty nasty stuff. What do you mean? You're Galadriel. What kind of... Sorry, I gotta think. This isn't Galadriel. This is a whole different person. And I guess they couldn't just have her true motivations, like that were actually in Tolkien's work, where she just wanted to be she wanted her own land and be her own, you know, she wanted to be the ruler of her own land and have her own thing. It wasn't like some high noble thing where I got to get revenge for my brother. It was just, I want my own kingdom. I'm Galadriel. I want to get my own kingdom. It was her, she just wanted it. You know, she refused to go, whatever. So they said, you can't go back. And then they finally, because she helped defeat Sauron at the end of Lord of the Rings, they allowed her to go back. You know, but she wasn't some high and mighty, I got to, for my brother, and there's Sauron's out there. No, she wanted her own thing. She wanted to be king, or queen. She wanted to be queen of her own realm. So who's this guy? Oh, it's that elf that I saw in the preview. Rondir? Oh, that's going to be the girl he falls in love with, like on the trailer. Or that he probably already is in love with. Which elves are these? Because these, again, their outfit is like It's like I don't know. Elves would be more, everything would be more beautiful, more elegant. What they wear is what I'm talking about. Yeah, everything about the elves is to render beauty and to make everything beautiful. And they like keeping things beautiful. But their outfits in this show are all ugly. The elves just look, I don't know, like I said, they should be elegant and I don't know. It's throwing me off. And the short hair is throwing me off in the elves because it looks like all of them have got their hair gelled and blow dried. How did that happen?
Scraping. What's one of them doing here?
Comes your boyfriend.
I heard you were leaving.
Yeah.
That news travels fast.
Where's the rest of your company?
Someone out in the middle of nowhere.
Say what you wish to say.
I have said it already. 100 times over, in every way but words.
Mother,
Mother?
there's a man here for you.
Mother? What happened to Dad? Well, that's not right. Unless she's a chocolate milk cow, that's not good. Part of a blade, it's a broken sword. So that's Sauron's mark. That armor is ugly. It's ugly. It's like, it's so not shiny and just dull. Why do they want to get rid of her? Because she was trying to fight? And they're afraid that he'll come back if they search for him? If it's really Sauron, then he's never not going to come back. That's what he does. And elves are smart enough to know that. Celebrimbor, yeah. He's the one that makes the rings, right? Celebrimbor? Yeah, I'm talking about artistry, I bet it's got to be, yeah. They get more short hair, it looks like they got it blow dry with gel. I don't understand, it's throwing me off. It's taking me out of the show. See, like, look at his hair. His hair doesn't take me out of the show because it's all messy. Well, that's what it would be. Because the trees were supplied light and they got rid of them. And then I guess this is after they already got the sun and the moon now. But they don't tell that story. Probably have other rights to it. Huh. The Southlands. I do like the use of the maps too. That's pretty cool. The Sundering Sea, they're headed to the Undying Lands. And maybe it's because, like when Peter Jackson did it, they always had him like glowing. So maybe he could have had him in armor like that, but since they were always kind of in this glow, it made it look better, you know?
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot?
But sometimes the lights shine just as brightly reflected in the water as they do in the sky. How am I to know which lights to follow?
Sometimes we cannot know until we have touched the darkness.
So is that what he whispered to her? At the tree? All this vague stuff, like the reason a rock doesn't float. Can't know until we touch the darkness. But an intelligent person should be able to know, even without touching the darkness. So is she just gonna swim back? There's nothing dangerous in the water. She can just swim. Because from what I remember with the maps, that was a pretty far way away. I mean, you had to go across. You had Numenor, because is this a time when Numenor is already, maybe not, they already sank? Or is that right before the Third Age? This is the Second Age, right? So, I mean, that's pretty far away, is all I'm saying. When they sailed to the west, they sailed there, you're almost there. It's a long way to swim. So what is this?
You shouldn't sneak up on folk like that. You shouldn't be.
Is that a guy? Huh. That's a cool looking shot though. Huh. So something finally interesting happened at the end. So let's get this. All right. So that was into that one. I mean, it was, I don't know, it was okay. I mean, what kept me interested the most is just trying to figure out what was going on. It wasn't that the show was keeping me interested. It was, what are they doing? I mean, I understand this is not Galadriel's story, so why even name her Galadriel if you're going to completely change her? I mean, you could have come up, had a different female character if you wanted a female character, you know. But so I would have to get, if I'm going to watch this, I'm going to have to get used to the fact that, okay, this is not Galadriel's story. It's a completely different story for Galadriel, or at least a completely different motivation, because she was not motivated by hunting down Sauron. And I don't know, the Harfoots are kind of boring. We've got Celebrimbor, and all the male elves with their short hair is throwing me off, because all I can think of is like, why do they all look like they got gel and blow dried hair? You know, I mean, an elf, if an elf just has long hair, you can just like, you know, like is it the king? Is it Gilgalad? It can just hang there, so you don't have to. You can just brush it and it'll look okay. But they're with their hair up like it is with. It does. It look like, you know, looks like the hair, you know, that's got, you know, it's got gel and blow dried and got it all. And it takes me out of the show, because I keep thinking, why would elves have gel? And if they do, what kind is it? Is it like magical gel? Is it elf gel? Do they make it out of the? And then it takes me out of the show. And I was surprised. I didn't mind as much. What was that elf? The other elf with the human girl. I thought it'd throw me off having a black elf, but it didn't really throw me off that much. I wonder maybe if it's him. Something about him, I think. Because good-looking guy. I don't know, there's something that, you know, sometimes people have it, whatever it is, but that didn't bother me that much. I thought it'd be weird seeing a black elf or whatever, and it didn't really, I don't know, didn't seem to bother me all that much. I mean, it didn't bother me as much as changing Galadriel's story and the elf's hair. You know what I mean? I mean, I guess after one of those, I mean, having a black elf is not a big deal. That's nothing compared to that, the gel hair taking you out of the show. You know, because I never thought that there couldn't be a black elf. You know, just never seen one, so I never thought about it. But, you know, I kind of like, but I'm weird, you know, now that I'm older, and my wife says, you know, sometimes she says, like, I kind of like the love stories sometimes. I don't like just a movie or a book that is just a love story. I like ones where the love story is behind, like you have the thing, but you know, like, try to explain to my wife, I like Rocky, the movie Rocky, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, it's a love story wrapped in a boxing movie. You know what I mean? So that's why I like ones like that. I don't mind the love story if it's a good one. You know, and one like that where he's an elf, she's human, that's already going to be a struggle. Their peoples don't like each other, that's going to be a struggle. So that can add some, you know, element to it, you know, that can make, they overcome something. I kind of like stuff like that. Well, you know, I can get kind of sappy when it comes to, so like I said, like an action movie that's kind of a love story underneath. You know, like let's say Die Hard. It's an action movie, but he's really trying to rescue his wife who he loves. You know, kind of like that. But the show was just, you know, if the dude in the meteor hadn't fell down, I don't even know if I'd have been interested in watching the second one. But now I just want to find maybe, well, we're going to say who that dude is, and that's not even a whole lot. You know, I mean, if I wasn't doing something on YouTube, I'm not even sure if I would, you know, watch it. And like, if I'd watch another one, and like on Kenobi, I think me and my son and daughter, we ended watching the second to last episode or something like that. We're like 4 or 5 episodes in, and we had to go on vacation. Like I said, that my son was getting married and all this stuff. We still haven't watched it because it was just not interesting. You know, I mean, it was just boring and it was silly. You know, so like with this one, I don't. You know, I kind of want to see who the guy in the meteor and all the fire. That was a cool shot. Now the scenery and everything is amazing. I will give it that. The scenery and like the elf shots with the theft, it was amazing. Their hair lacks a little bit to be desired. Their armor should be way more beautiful, way more elegant. It just seems blah. And is Galadriel going to, how's she going to swim all the way? If you could swim there, why would you take a boat there to begin with? I mean, she can just swim all the way back? All the way? Because they were getting ready to enter the West. They were getting ready to enter, you know, so that's pretty far, if I remember the maps correctly. No. So, you know, thank you for watching Crane's Bar and Grill, and this was episode 1, Rings of Power. It was okay, you know. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.